funny looking at yourself. I'm telling you, is this like, did I die? Is this my memorial service? Times changed, but I didn't know I was gone. Wow. So, hello everyone, and what a joy it is to be here with you. Thank you. Yeah, I like back and forth. You know, I'm not Baptist, but I like that. We could use a little more of that, you know, chatter back and forth. All those uptight UU places where it's like a lecture with somebody squeezing their cheeks for the 20 minutes they talk. And they never look up at the audience. Oh my. That's not happening today, folks. I don't know what goes on here. I don't think that goes on here, but back east, they got a whole lot of professorial types that never engage the people and tight cheeks. Let's call them tight cheeks. All right. So this sermon today, I had this idea. It's Black History Month. What was I going to bring to, you know, we are the whitest association in the religious kingdom of the United States. Now, I'm so glad to see that there's some diversity in this room, but I've been to about 350 UU congregations across this continent over 30 years of ministry, and I'm here to tell you, Snow White, milky white, whiter than white. Hell, I'm a Negro that turned white, trying to fit in with them damn people. These are facts. My wife will attest to it. Wave your hand in the air like you care, Lisa. I even married a white girl so I could get white. You know, these are just the facts. Unitarian Universalism remains the whitest religious movement in the nation. Even Mormons, who didn't let people of color into heaven, got more percentage-wise than we do. Well, they're friendlier than we are. They knock at your doors. They come and visit. I never let them in, but they come and visit. Jehovah's Witness, Mormons, keep going. Wish you well. So what was I going to bring you besides my gregarious and awesome Harlem personality? I don't know if you know about Harlem, but we're a special kind of people. Go there and visit while there's still some Negroes there. Bill Clinton signaled that white folks were welcome, and it's been getting whiter and whiter ever since. Yeah, that's true. When my father moved there in 1926, it was mostly white. By the time he died in 2000, it was mostly black and brown, because my friends from PR, DR, Haiti, and every other part of West Africa and East Africa had moved in. And then Bill Clinton. Yes. You know, are you really white if you've got to blow dry your hair to get it straight? Really? See, I think white folks got that straighter than straight hair. Where that kink come from? I know about passing in the South. See, my daddy's from Louisiana, Point Coupé Parish. Whole lot of folks in Louisiana say they white, but we know better. So what do I need to tell y'all? Well, it's Black History Month, and we lost a giant of Black history this week. The Reverend Jesse Jackson. Oh my. The Reverend Jesse Jackson. He's a lot. He was a lot. But Run, Jesse, Run. That put a whole lot of pride in a lot of people. But before Jesse, it was Shirley Chisholm. You remember Shirley Chisholm? And if your children and grandchildren don't know about my sister, please lift her name up. School teacher, which, who's better than school teachers? I mean, they really set us on our way. School teachers. All right, so let me read you some of what I wrote, because the time will be up and I won't have read a thing. So I started with, if not now, when? Beloveds, during this month, if not now, when will the full story about Black Unitarian Universalists come to light If not now, when will we learn that black folks are not just a footnote, not a sidebar, not a sacred inheritance of Unitarian Universalism? Oh, look at us. We've been so good. We had a black president before the United States did. Bill Singford. You know, we could pat ourselves on the back. We had Bill before we had Barack. But the black, Afro-Caribbean, Afro-Latino, and BIPOC peoples have shaped the movement. You all know what BIPOC is? Yeah, y'all are that educated white crowd. All right. So if not now, when? When will we say out loud that Unitarian Universalism isn't simply a European project with open doors? Right? It's not just a European notion. Our faith is a living faith, an evolving faith, a cultivated faith created and orchestrated by a constellation of the human creatures. So we gather in this moment to do more than remember. We're going to remember Egbert Ethelred Brown, and I want you to know his name. Have any of you read Black Pioneers in a White Denomination? Not a single one. Boy, I want to tongue lash you now. I'm going to come back. I never say I'm going to come back, but I'm going to come back here to find out if any of you would take the time to read about the black pioneers in this whitest of white denominations. See, because the story of Egbert Ethelred Brown, who's my relative, the first black Unitarian minister, his story is one of triumph, and it's one of deep despair and broken promises, a dream deferred. I want to lift up the Reverend Hope Johnson, Reverend Dr. Hope Johnson, who was a leader in our faith for more than 25 or 30 years. I went to seminary with Hope. She was the daughter of Basil Johnson, the Jamaican ambassador to the United States. So I failed to tell you that Egbert Ethelred Brown is a Jamaican, born on that fabulous island where dreams can come true, but not for the vast majority of the people because they're broke, man, they're poor. Colonialism did them dirty, and the United States has not been kind. The Caribbean islands haven't been treated with kindness by the United States. Cuba, our closest neighbor, no kindness, invasion. Haiti, invaded 11 times. You understand? Puerto Rico, treated like it's a stepchild. Shame upon the nation. Throw them some toilet paper or paper towels. Do you remember? They still don't have the electric grid fixed. Like Jackson, Mississippi, with water that's not drinkable. There are places in the United States where people don't matter. We're big about saying the inherent worth and dignity of everyone as UUs. But the fact remains that our nation doesn't see people that way. Our nation mistreats those they perceive as the other. We're in New Spain, aren't we? You all understand your history lessons. We all residing here in New Spain or Mexico North or, But how about it's the indigenous land with the Chumash down here, with the Gabrielinos, the Chumash, no, that's north. So who was here? Tongva. The Tongva. So we're in Tongva land. See, and so each day that we're here, we got to understand somebody else supposed to be here. We're here by, you could call it manifest destiny. I did a year of law school. I call it theft. You understand me? What crimes were committed here in North America that we all benefit from? All right. So, Egbert Ethelred Brown, as a child, heard about a faith that was Unitarian, singular in its understanding of the Most High, of God. He was a Trinitarian, but he didn't buy it. Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, what? No. He said no. So he wrote Meadville Seminary, which was in Pennsylvania back in those days, 1910, and said, may I come and study there? And they wrote him back and said, we don't have any Negroes for you to be the pastor of. You need not come. He wrote them again, said, I still want to come and study. May I come? They said, well, if you insist. And he went to Meadville Seminary and studied and became the first black ordained Unitarian minister. I believe it was 1912. He went back to Jamaica and he started a congregation in Montego Bay. Or was it Ocho Rios? I'm getting long in the tooth now. I may forget things. But one of those beautiful places in Jamaica. He didn't fare well because Jamaica, whether you know it or not, is the most Christian country in the world, with a church closer together in proximity than any other place in the world. Jamaicans talk about Jesus all the time. They forget him when they're fornicating. But Jesus this and Jesus that. My Lord. My Jamaican grandmother turned over in a grave garden. What you saying about your people now? I'm telling you the facts. Facts. Jamaica's wonderful. But, you know, Jamaican men, my wife said, if I had known he was Jamaican, I wouldn't have dated him. But me not like that. My father's from Louisiana, so I'm only a half Jamaican. I only run around half the time on her. Never, not once, this Montana woman would have had me out on on the curb. All right. So Egbert Ethelred Brown had the audacity to dream something that didn't seem possible or plausible. His Jamaican experiment didn't work. So he packs up his things and he goes to New York. And where does he go? He goes to Harlem, because Harlem in the 1920s was the mecca for all black people globally. In Africa, you know, France and England have approximately 1 million black folks. All over the world, black people was finding their way to Harlem. My grandparents, their parents came. They thought the streets of New York was paved with gold. Landed at Ellis Island in 1915. The streets are not paved with gold. Trust me. Nevertheless, Egbert tried. He went to the community church, and there the community church said, well, you know, we can't hire you, but we'll give you some help. And Egbert Ethelred Brown founded the first black Unitarian congregation ever. It was in Harlem. And the likes of the Harlem Renaissance peopled that parish. Langston Hughes, County Cullen, Zora Neale Hurston. If you don't know these names, I'm going to encourage you to understand and read about the Harlem Renaissance. The new Negro that was created in that early era of the last century. This is an important time in American history. And those were the people that were attending this congregation. But it never grew because the average black American, West Indian, African, they're Christian and they're Trinitarians. And the congregation stayed small. A sad story. He dies and the congregation folds. And that's the end of the Harlem Unitarian congregation. I should give you the Universalist guy. See, because, right, with two denominations that merged in 1961, I think they did it for my birthday because that's when I was born. Yeah, Gordon's here. Let's merge. Joseph Jordan is the first black Universalist minister, and many years ahead of Egbert Ethelred Brown. Joseph Jordan's a Universalist minister in the 1860s, and he founds a congregation in Norfolk, Virginia. And that congregation is still there. It's not a congregation anymore. It's become a community center. But the legacy of what Reverend Jordan did was really powerful for the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, Portsmouth, Norfolk, all those places. All right. So I wanted to tell you about Reverend Dr. Hope Johnson, who is a contemporary of mine. Reverend Dr. Hope Johnson, the daughter of the Jamaican ambassador. Reverend Dr. Hope Johnson, who saw Bob Marley just days before he died with his locks cut off. Because Bob Marley asked the ambassador to come see him. And he brought his twin daughters with him. And they cried tears. Can you imagine Bob without his dreadlocks? Bob Marley, bald head. Bob Marley, no dreadlock. How can he say Rastaman vibration? And I can't shake them things. Nevertheless, Reverend Dr. Hope Johnson, who had lived in Germany and lived in South America and who lived all over the place, became a Unitarian Universalist minister when I did approximately in 1995. Boy, I tell you, I'm getting long in the tooth. And she builds a powerful ministry. Hope does amazing things. Hope, quite simply, epitomizes love. Her way of being in the world was to be pastoral, to be prophetic, and to be grounded in the lived realities of her Black Jamaican experience. Hope Johnson reminds us again and again in the spirit of her preaching. She preached this way, kind of a sing-songy kind of way. She talking in her Jamaican accent, but it was always so lofty and highfalutin. I say, what are you doing, Hope? They got to get a dictionary to understand what you're saying. But she was always there. Hope Johnson and Egbert Ethelred Brown, two very different Unitarian Universalist ministers, but epitomizing what we Caribbean people have brought. Jamaicans are the largest Black immigrant group ever to the United States. So if you don't know a Jamaican, you can say you know one now, albeit only half. I'm half caste, half Jamaican, right? Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, half Jamaican. Colin Powell, Secretary of State, all Jamaican. The two of the three highest ranking Black people this nation's ever known are of Jamaican ancestry. You understand my pride? Get up, stand up for your rights. Huh? You know that song? We ought to be sick and tired of this easy, this nonsense going on in this nation. We ought to be tired of it. Are you tired of the nonsense? Yes. Do you want your nation back? Yes. Are you going to fight for it? Yes. Oh, you my kind of people. So, Caribbean people, not just from Jamaica, Jose Ballester and Patricia Jimenez, a whole host of Latinas, Puerto Rican, Cuban, Dominican, they've come to serve this faith of ours. They've come to serve, and they serve with a dignified and loving spirit. The lineage of these people are far and wide, and I need you to know that Caribbean peoples have been a part, shall always be a part of this faith in this nation. Hope wrote a piece called One Love. And she says, one love does not ignore difference, it honors it. She says, one love binds us together without flattering us. She says, one love is the kind of thing that asks you to witness to another human being's existence. Can I get a witness? I need you to be a witness. When you see the police doing something with someone, take out your phones and record what's going on. Yes. When you hear that Jamaica needs money, give to that kitchen. What do you call that kitchen? The chef that does the kitchen. Send some money so the people starving in Jamaica may eat. When you hear that the United Negro College Fund needs money, Send them a few dollars, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And in this nation where education and equality and all the fair things that should happen don't happen, still won't happen. In states like Florida and Texas, taking black history out of history books. How is that possible? Black history is American history. George Washington's teeth were not made of wood. He took his slaves' teeth. You need to know what's going on here. You need to know that the city of Los Angeles was founded by 48 families from Mexico City, and 26 of those families were Afro-Mexicano. Black people have been here. We didn't just arrive. And if you know anything about the Toltec heads in southern Mexico, you would know those are African faces. Look them up. The lips is full and the nose is broad. No indigenous person look like that. I need you, Unitarian Universalists, to live into this ideal that we are an educated faith. People who seek knowledge and can deal with the things as we learn it. We can deal with them. We can do anything together. You're my sisters and brothers. My hero, Muhammad Ali, said something once at Columbia University when he was given the job of doing the graduation speech. He had Parkinson's and he was weak. His speech wasn't good anymore. And the only things he said were me, we. And those 1,000 or more graduates threw their caps into the sky. I want you to remember me. I want you to remember you've got a friend from Harlem that loves this faith and loves all of you and wants this faith to be a global faith where regardless of sexual orientation or color of your skin or educational level or economic level, who you love, why you love, if you love at all, right? You say everybody's welcome. Well, we've got to do more than say it. We've got to do things to bring them into our house. Cook some gumbo next Mardi Gras day and I'll come. Make some Jamaican curry and I'll come, right? How do you bring people in? You play some reggae, you play some jazz, you play some soca, huh? Some juju. All right. I'll close this out because I've been accused of being Baptist. Maybe it's true. So let us say it together plainly and proudly. We are Unitarian Universalists.
Unitarian Universalists.
We are a human family.
A human family.
We center love. Period. Full stop. You got me?
Yes.
Blessed be.